That leads me to a kind of a different direction question. Did you find much difference in the leadership of a hockey team, coaching that, and then coaching the business world? It seemed like to me there would be a difference, but it seemed like maybe there shouldn't be a difference.
I think there's a lot of similarities between leading
The
hockey
sport, yeah.
teams,
Mhm.
students in the classroom, being a parent. In all of these cases, you're trying to help the person achieve their potential,
Mm,
trying to do what you can to bring out the best in them. And you're using, again, going back to the three styles, you're using a style that's going to help them grow and develop as well. And depending on what style you use, the person's going to learn certain things. If I'm using a directing style, hopefully the person is learning to listen, to pay attention, to follow directions. If I'm using a discussing style, the person's learning how to think because I'm asking them, what do you think? What should we do? Why? What's your opinion? So they got to learn to think and formulate their opinions and present them in a convincing, cogent way. Delegating, they're learning to work independently. It's really
mm.
their decision on what they're going to do, how they're going to do it, that type of thing. So I'm a big believer that no matter what domain you're working in, coach, teacher, parent, manager, leading a team of some sort in the business world, these principles are really consistent throughout.
Okay. Okay. Let me have you coach me up just a little bit on this
Yeah.
because, as well, to paraphrase and see if I'm paraphrasing it right. Because when you're going through this, I started thinking a sports team, you would coach them differently because they're working to defeat the habits of their body. They're working to improve their body. They're working to take control of their body. But
Mhm.
yet, if you have a group of developers, they're working to take control of the thought process, the mental process. So you'd have to balance the three differently based upon that. And it could even go deeper. If I have a bunch of new hires of first real jobs, I got to develop them for physically knowing to be on work at time and do their best while they're on the job. And so I got to balance that out. Is that kind of what you point toward?
I think if I'm coaching a group of hockey players, let's say, I'm coaching their head. I want to coach the way they think about the game and what they're doing on the ice and decision making and what have you. I'm also coaching them to prepare their bodies to get stronger and condition them and that type of thing. Their spirit in terms of their motivation and excitement and energy and emotions about making sure they're not too emotional, but they're not there's no emotion. You want them to
Right.
be emotionally engaged and what have you. So, depending on the situation, I could be leading and using one of these styles, connecting with the head or the heart, let's say. And that's carries over, I think, to the business world as well. If I'm leading a team in the business world, I have to make sure they understand intellectually what they need to do, but also I got to make sure I connect with their emotions and their heart. They
Mm-hmm.
made the mission, they're excited about it. If it's just a ho hum, we're going to do XYZ, and there's no excitement or energy around it, I'm not going to get them to perform at their best. It's going to be a hard. There's a lot of talk about connecting with the head and heart, and I think that's really important. So making sure your mission and your purpose and all that is something that's engaging and gets them excited.
Yeah. And that's a hard thing to do, I think, because in order to get them excited, they have to feel like taking ownership and some of the
Yeah.
other things that skills and things that you refer to.